The 80s open a new era in Italian football, the possibility of bringing foreign players into the game. Yet again, the management of Juventus get it right, choosing Liam Brady, who proves to be a shrewd choice. He will score 2 goals for Juve in their quest for the championship. The 80-81 championship's highlight was against Pruzzo's Roma and Brazilian Paolo Roberto Falcao. It's an appointment that Roma have waited 40 years for. It's Brady who reveals himself to be Trapattoni's secret weapon, capable of both dictating great strategy and fine shots. The following year, Juventus play a head-to-head with Fiorentina that continues up to the final whistle. Juve take their 20th championship and triumph over Fiorentina for the 2nd time that season, having also won their away game. At the Comunale against Milan, it is a very young centre-forward named Galdarisi, nicknamed Nanu, who scores a hat-trick. This means that this year the Devils are destined to slide down to Serie B. In one of the most exciting derbies of the 80s, Juventus finds itself losing 2-0, but with great courage they stage a comeback before losing 4-2. In the last match, it's Liam Brady who scores the deciding penalty in Catanzaro. The Irishman is already aware that there is a substitute destined to take over from him, but Platini's shadow doesn't stop him from giving his supporters what they came to see. The next championship win in Spain is Roma's. Juve is full of world champions, and with the 2 new arrivals, Leroy, Michel and Zibi Boniek take 2nd place, but not before beating their direct rivals at Olimpico. Michel Platini was the man of the match for his quality play. The Champions' Cup was to be the worst delusion for Juventus. Their arrival in the championship was extraordinary. Spectacular matches, won brilliantly, but in the final against Hamburg, everything went wrong. The repeat game was to be in a few years' time. The Italian Cup was their consolation. Juventus were back on the podium. It's Michel yet again in a return match that went into extra time to overturn the 2-0 lead taken by Verona. Thanks to Platini, Juventus starts to tie long sequences of success to its belt. This is just the beginning.
Ma sì, l'ha vinto meritatamente, abbiamo 4 punti di vantaggio, rimane una partita, è finita, matematicamente adesso è finita.
The 83-84 season is one of the most successful in Juventus history. After the delusion of the previous year, Juve make it a double win, taking the Championship and Cup Winners' Cup.
I've taken my chances, true romance is what I believe.
Zoff is no longer with Juventus. Stefano Tacconi has taken over. Bettega flew to Canada after a brilliant career. The Juventus walk towards victory shows its rivals no mercy. The most interesting games in the first round were against Milan, Roma and Inter.
You make me tingle inside.
Juventus pace their march towards their target, and after the first round they stand alone. Some of their rivals begin to worry about the rematch. Looking at the Juventus attackers, they have good reason to be worried.
It's unexpectedly, but I'll take my chances.
Trapattoni, una gara di pattinaggio su ghiaccio in Italia un pubblico del genere forse non l'ha mai avuto.
Lei direi questo pubblico merita veramente di godersi un ottimo spettacolo, perché affronta sacrifici, affronta appunto intemperie come queste e credo che sia giusto ripagarlo.
Platini, può essere considerato il più bel primo tempo da quando sei qua in Italia?
In front of the public at San Siro, Platini and his teammates teach Baresi's team a real lesson. It's 3-0 with a hat-trick of goals from Platini. It is useless to say that he's the leading striker with 20 formidable goals. Paolo Rossi, in counter-attack, continues to just miss the ball. Vignola is ready to take advantage of every occasion.
Knowing that someone feels the same way.
3 days from the end of the championship, Juve played away to Inter. The victory is assured by Cabrini with a great shot from outside the area. Platini is served with a goal on a silver plate from Boniek. There are no more doubts. In Trapp's fist, there is a well-earned Italian championship shield.
Someone like me, when I look in your eyes, I just might fall in love. I just might fall in love.
Senti, che voto daresti a Platini a fine campionato? A te la lavagna, eh?
Che voto, scusa, non possiamo anche fare il giocatore, anche fare il giornalista.
Ma tu puoi farlo.
Sì, voi siete pagati per fare il giornalista e noi per fare il giocatore. Le voti le date voi.
7,5?
Non lo so, se lo dici lei.
The banquet is over. On the 16th of May 1984 in Basilea, there's a wonderful conclusion, and the final of the Cup Winners' Cup sees the Portuguese team Porto as their rivals. In the 13th minute, Vignola scores an absolutely brilliant champion's goal. After the equaliser by Porto, it takes the magic of a champion who is having one of his best games. So Zibi Boniek, with a perfidious kick, gives Turin the precious trophy they have long wanted. And all Italian Juventus fans are wild with joy. The 84-85 championship, for the first time, takes the road to Verona, and Juventus let them do it. Trapattoni's men are concentrating on Europe. While Turin was under the snow, there is the European Super Cup win against the English team Liverpool, thanks to 2 goals by Boniek. It's the first time that an Italian team has won this trophy. On the 29th of May 1985, there's a new carnage. This time it's the final of the Champions Cup played in Brussels. What should have been a party turns into a terrible tragedy. 39 people die in the incident. 1985-86, Juventus are European champions, and they prepare to conquer the Italian throne. They take it from their cousins. Aldo Scirea scored a brilliant goal from the corner taken by Cabrini. Another goal confirms the Juventus supremacy. On the 8th of December 1985, they win the final of the Intercontinental Cup against Argentinos Juniors. Juventus now have every possible title under their belt. Emotion runs high in the championship, but Juventus' brilliant start kills off most of this when Juve celebrate a record 8 consecutive wins, steamrolling all their rivals. The 23rd championship is a thrilling final against Roma. Eriksson's team throw away their chances, losing at home to Lecce, who are in last place in the table. At Turin, Laudrup's goal secures the Juventus win over Milan. The championship is celebrated in Lecce. The first extraordinary goal is by Mauro. Veteran Cabrini makes it 2, and finally the goal on the counter-attack by Scirea secures the championship for Juve. The final years of this decade offer little emotion compared to those that the Juve supporters were used to. Trapattoni made way for Rino Marchesi on the bench. The gap Platini's departure left was never well filled. Rush and Zavarov proved to be inadequate substitutes. The arrival of Dino Zoff on the bench brings back some of the faith lost in the past, although the death of the Juventus player Gaetano Scirea shocks the team.